So here is my audience. Yay.
Yeah, everyone's in the bathroom.
All right. Thank you all for coming today and coming to listen to my speech about tea tradition, tea history, and how it varies among different cultures and countries around the world. For nearly 5,000 years, tea has played an important role in medicine, meditation, trade, industry, and even defining social classes. It has also been used in political settings and social gatherings. Even though tea drinking has been practiced around the world, many countries have developed their own unique tea drinking culture. Some view tea as a ritual, time for socializing, others see it as an art. From a family of avid tea drinkers, my passion for tea has sparked a curiosity to learn more about the different tea cultures around the world. Lee Joliffe stated in his book Tea and Tourism that both tea-producing and tea-consuming countries have adopted tea as an inherent part of their identities. After my time speaking with you today, I hope to broaden your knowledge of the cultures around the world and their tea traditions, as well as even spark interest in future tea enthusiasts. There are many different legends around the world of the origins of tea. For example, China believes that tea was discovered by the Emperor Shen Huang in 2727 BC, while he was purifying water underneath the shade of a tea tree. Some of the tea leaves blew into the pot and creating the brew we know today as tea. In India, they believe Prince Dharma left home for China. During his 9-year mission, he was going to preach Buddhism. He vowed not to sleep during those 9 years, but by the end of his 3rd year was so overcome by exhaustion that he grabbed a handful of leaves from a nearby tea shrub and chewed them. He found that the leaves had helped give him the strength to stay awake for the remaining 6 years. In Japan, however, they believed that he fell asleep, and when he woke, he was so disgusted with himself that he tore off his eyelids, threw them on the ground, and where he had thrown them, an enchanted tea shrub grew that also granted the power to stay awake. I will now go on to explain the tea traditions within several cultures. In China, tea is a daily drink in Chinese culture. It was first used for medicinal purposes. Later, tea was used in gift-giving, courtship rituals, ancestral worship, imperial tribute taxes as well. Tea was brought to Tibet in the 7th century AD and later in Korea and Japan in the 9th century. The Silk Road and military movements played a role in the spread of the popularity of tea by both land and sea. There is even a book written in the 8th century by the scholar Liu Yu detailing how to properly manufacture and grow tea, as well as the wisdom of the art of drinking tea. In Japan, tea was first served in Buddhist temples, monks and priests and ruling class who attended the special services. In Japan, tea is rooted in a somewhat ceremonial fashion. The temple tea practices were gradually incorporated into the Japanese culture. By the mid-1500s, the priest Sen Rikyu wrote down the ceremonies. Today, he is considered the founder of Japanese ceremony and 3 of its schools. Japanese drink mostly green teas. Taste and delicacy is very important for them. Matcha is a powdered tea used in the ceremonies, as I have here. It is almost like an instant green tea. In Taiwan, they place great emphasis on tea utensils. They use the tea utensils for tea tasting and can also influence the flavor of the brewed tea. In Tibet, they are known for their salty yak butter tea. It is believed to aid in digestion, fight hunger, and lead to stronger and longer lives. As a sign of hospitality and respect, Tibetan people will immediately brew a fresh pot of butter tea to their guests. It is also common to slurp tea in restaurants and in the home. In India, even though many tea plants are native to the Indian landscape, tea was not a huge part of the Indian diet until around 1850, when the British began producing tea. Like many of their foods, Indians prefer richly spiced teas. Chai tea is the Indian drink we are most familiar with, and it is a black tea that is simmered in milk, sugar, and spices such as cardamom, cinnamon, clove, and ginger. Many households have their own family recipe for the chai tea. In Great Britain, according to Afternoon Tea, Dutch traders were the first to bring tea to the West in the 1600s. The 7th Duchess of Bedford began taking afternoon tea with a snack to help with having a sinking feeling in the afternoon. It was normal for upper class to have only 2 meals a day, late morning breakfast and late evening dinner, which was normally around 8 o'clock at night. Soon after she introduced to her friends the tea and snacking around p.m., it became quite popular and even fashionable. Upper class society would have tea, afternoon tea, also called low tea, around 4 p.m., while middle and lower class would serve a more substantial meal called high tea around 6 p.m. This was essentially dinner. The names of high and low tea are derived from the heights of the table. So high tea is being served at the dinner table. Great Britain is a fan of black teas, essentially English breakfast teas or Earl Grey. In the U.S., we are all familiar with the Boston Tea Party in the 1773 as a way to protest the high British taxes. But America were big tea consumers as well. We consumed primarily green teas up to about World War II. Iced tea was introduced to the global tea market in 1904 at the St. Louis World Fair. For Indian traders to try to have people taste their teas in the summer heat, they served it over ice. So that became very popular, and it's now the popular summer beverage around the world that we know today. Tea is continuously transforming. Tea customs and tea traditions may remain the same, but new species of tea, tea blends, and even new customs of tea drinking are emerging. With new research and understanding of the health benefits of tea, as well as growing personal health awareness, tea is taking on a newfound popularity of the culture. It is now thought by many as stylish and healthier alternative to soda or coffee. Tea is much more than a flavored water or a comfort beverage. Its histories of cultural traditions are intertwined with countries' histories and makes an exciting and educating tea drinking experience. Thank you for your time.